Hey Aquarius. So this is your March 2023 tarot reading. I'm doing the Celtic Cross. Let's just get into it. We've got quite a bit of cards on the table. Um, so what you're currently dealing with the center of your focus of your reading, is there's this new potential that's coming in. And someone may want to offer their help or their advice, or in helping you get something started. There's this kind energy coming forward in terms of, offering to help you water whatever crop you're growing, which could be anything that's in the creative sector, anything that you're inspired or passionate about that you've just begun. You might meet a friend who is willing to give you some advice or a helping hand with something. And I see you being, more open to accept this help because of the potential partnership that you see from this situation, or you could possibly learn more from this partnership, and that's leaving you feeling good about. They may ask you for there's maybe some financial input to this. There could be learning required, so you are learning from this partnership or this dynamic, or at least that's what you're thinking about. Your past is telling me that there was something that wasn't quite fulfilling you. You were feeling kind of what's the word, cognitive dissonance about something, feeling a little detached from something, feeling not really ready to receive any newfound emotional blessings. You just felt kind of like, I've been here, I've done that. But yet there was somebody coming in that you may have rejected in the past, or there was some action that you could have taken that you would have loved that left you feeling isolated in some way. Maybe it was your family that didn't agree with this. Yeah, it seems like there could have been a legacy or a traditional way of doing things, and you were not really happy with that aspect of whatever was going on. And so there may have been isolation created from, or feeling alone in a situation, even though there are other people involved, or there was somebody who didn't reciprocate, or it doesn't seem like it was somebody else, that maybe somebody wanted your attention in some shape or form, regard, and others, the way the community, the traditional side of whoever was involved in your life, family, friends, they might have not agreed with this kind of relationship, or this kind of action you would have tried to take. Whatever it was, it left you feeling either at a loss of finances or at a loss of support. What you're unaware of is that right now you are gestating something that you will find the confidence to start, that will lead you getting acclaim. So your ideas are kind of like divinely inspired almost, or so that's in your subconscious mind. You may think that something isn't, that you need help with something, or that there's, that your ideas aren't worthy, but deep down they are worthy. You're just needing to find the confidence. The Queen of Wands doesn't question how her confidence. She doesn't sway in her confidence, or at least she doesn't let people know she's not feeling confident. So this almost this beauty aspect to the Empress here. And so this could be creative self-expression through beauty, some kind of invention having to do with beauty, some kind of idea or a beauty blog, some sort of creation of confidence, feeling beautiful and not afraid to show it off. And there's a beginning of expressing that and other people seeing that. So there's also any creative projects that you have that you might have a sudden kind of invention of some kind. There's some sort of invention here with the Empress and the Queen of Wands. And it's well received by others, or you feel that it will be well received by others at a deep level. I don't see you being necessarily shy. Maybe you are a little shy, or in the past you were. There's this passionate, fiery kind of creative side to you that's kind of hidden right now, that's below the surface. You're learning about relationships right now, learning about partnerships, or learning how to love somebody else or something. It's a learning that you love. So maybe you've been taking quite a bit of time to learn more recently. You've been really thinking things through and kind of trying to get on the practical, hands-on side of whatever you're working on. Now, I do have as an oracle card, before I go further, opening circle, and it says protection, ritual, lessons, and simplicity. If you do have any creative ideas at this time, I know that it's nice that people want to come in and work on a project with us, or, maybe other people's input may be important to you, or has been in the past. I think that right now, maybe keeping your projects and ideas safe. You is important. And the reason I say this is because you're making leaps and bounds subconsciously. You're breaking down barriers psychologically, maybe, that about your confidence and your beauty. And there's this new beginning that is very well received by others. So I feel like maybe you might have had unrequited love in the past. And that's why you've been feeling a little bit there's a little bit of immature thinking about love, or some kind of dynamic. So you might have felt like a little inexperienced in some type of relationship. And now, because you've been learning and working on it, you're starting to get the confidence within yourself back. And I think that is super important to protecting and protect your energy during this time. Now, in the future, I see some sudden external event, a moment in time where there will be some form of enlightenment. Now, I have the Four of Cups in the past and in the future. So, something from the past has dragged itself into the future in some way, shape, or form. And you might find it difficult to make a decision about something because you don't have all the answers. Whatever this is, it will be some sort of big event that leads you to having a new way of looking at, a whole new way of looking at things. And you may find yourself trying to protect your heart over maybe what you don't know, whatever isn't showing itself clearly at this time. Now, in the Four of Cups in the future, you see that divine gift, the blessing coming down as if like out of thin air, right? And he's not really focused on that. You can't really tell if he's looking at that cup or these. It looks more like he's looking at the Three Cups, right? Over here, she seems to not notice that there's like this rainbow bursting out of one of her cups. She's more focused on the past and her family and maybe work. This could have been somebody you worked with in the past if this is a relationship reading. A major breakthrough or breakdown. I feel like the Tower can be both. I would pull another card, but I'm like weary of pulling another card. Just What I Needed popped in my head. That song, Just What I Needed. Maybe you couldn't make it work in the past, something you're working on, and now you have the idea that like makes it all come together. Maybe there was a cup that you were offered in the past and you turned it down, and now it's coming back up for grabs. and you're feeling like you need to protect yourself from being hurt, and you're really trying to go within, but you're having a difficult time making a decision about it. I also feel like kind of a sexual vibe with this reading, especially in the center where there's like the Ace of Rods and then the Page of Cups. Friends with benefits comes to mind. But there is protection here. There is the circle around the Empress, which is the female symbol, I believe, that she's sitting in front of on her throne. The Venus symbol. And then there's the circle around the Hamsa. Okay. So there's protection of what you're creating, protection of your ideas is coming up important. And your own energy. If you work in the makeup industry, I see there being something that you do or something that you make that has to do with fashion, beauty, something like that. There's colors involved here. I have this rainbow here coming out of a bowl, and I have rainbow coming out of fingers here. Looks like he or she's looking at in a compact mirror at themselves, and all these like beauty and confidence and fashion kind of energies here. I'm being seen by others. So maybe in the past you weren't like interested in that sort of thing because you found it superficial, or you were more focused on other things, and now you're starting to get more into that. People are starting to notice you more. Something happens in the future that kind of catapults you into a new direction. But there's also intuition involved here in the future, because I have enlightenment, sudden enlightenment, like a download from the universe. And then there's this having to use our intuition to make a big decision, right? A decision that's, we don't have all the information to make logically. So how do we make the right one? And we're kind of like feedling up and really trying to go within and find the answer, right? And there's also some sort of apparition over here giving us an answer, showing us a sign. It's like a sign from the divine, right? The Four of Cups, sign from the divine. So maybe you're starting to see all of a sudden things in a new way, things that you didn't notice before. That might help you with your creative abilities or your inventory abilities. All right, so the advice. The advice is a tough one. I have the Devil and the Five of Swords. Conflict, change, and maybe feeling stuck. But it's advice. So it's more of it looks like he's battling a dragon, right? He's battling the beast. It's like taking no prisoners as well. taking no prisoners. The devil is temptation. It's serious commitment, obligation, building. There's building and fortification with the devil, right? And the Five of Swords is somebody who's bested someone else and taken their only means of defending themselves. It's cutthroat. I don't know. It could be that you're being asked to be cutthroat about this situation. And I don't mean that in a literal sense. Please don't go killing anybody. I mean that maybe you have to be like a bitch. Maybe you have to be a bitch. Maybe you have to the devil doesn't like change, right? It likes tradition. This is it. This is what I saw over here. The tradition, and then the tower right underneath it as well. So something that's been status quo, you're now seeing in a whole new way. Maybe it was the way you were raised. Maybe it's the way you've handled certain things in your life. Maybe it's the way someone else has been treating you. And it's asking you to put up boundaries with people. Serious boundaries. And to not let tradition or a rut keep you from what is divinely yours. But also, there's like a mercilessness with this. So revenge is a dish best served cold. This is also revenge. You get the opportunity now to go back over something that happened in the past and it's revisited. And it seems like some of you might give the cold shoulder or show no mercy in terms of how you handle a situation. It's also showing me that you will change the way things have always been done, even if authority doesn't like it. And the authority in this matter might be scary, whether it's family members or society in general. You're winning at all costs in this kind of realm. I also see him like he's defeated these two men, taken their swords, And now the devil in the card looks like he's about to take the sword from him. And maybe looks like he's going to hand it over to him. But then at the last second, he cuts these two people free from bondage. There's an underhanded play here. If I didn't have the Seven of Swords somewhere, which I don't, I'm not going to go fishing for it either, but defeating your opponent, defeating your toxic behaviors, overcoming addiction. There very well could be, this just could be something that something's guarded. There's like a guardedness. And the devil is the major arcana, so that's the most prominent of the two cards. So guard your materials, guard your what you have, protect what you have, because somebody else might be not willing to lose, might not play fair. This is kind of trickery, but I don't have the Magician and I don't have the Seven of Swords. So I'm going to say that it's winning at all costs. Your advice is to defeat your opponent in an intellectual way and break the chain that holds you to some sort of toxic situation or to an obligation. This can be some sort of work contract that's been unfair and you find a loophole out of it. And that's your advice, is to do whatever you can to get right with what binds you, or to defeat anybody who would be an enemy in an intellectual manner, to be smarter than your opponent. Hold no prisoners. Okay, what an interesting message. So, how other people are seeing you, or the situation that you're in. Again with the Page of Pentacles, but now instead of the Two of Cups, like we had up here, they're reversed. I have the Page coming in second. We have, instead of the Two of Cups, we have the Lovers. So you think something is not to full maturity. You think something is not to full manifestation, or isn't all that it can't be, or that it can be. Other people are seeing it as a complete unit. They're seeing it as something, the elements or components that have come together to make this have created almost a brand, a larger an umbrella kind of. I mean, there's this component A and component B, and now we have the umbrella, that the fancy packaging and everything, right? People are seeing it as like a package deal. And it seems like learning how to balance. There is balance, though. There's balance in an immature way. You're thinking that something is a little bit timid coming together, is not quite fully there. But then there is this kind of maturing, a mature decision. Somebody, this is also somebody who is much older than their years. The Lovers and the Page of Pentacles. It's somebody who thinks much more about the whole picture instead of just themselves or at the immediacy of how they're emotionally feeling. This is somebody who has a broader vision and how their actions affect others. This is also learning the duality of something, learning about the other side of the coin. And here she holds the coin, right? It's a coin toss. It could go one way, it could go another way. Other people are seeing it as a matured thing, something that's ahead of its years. And this is Aquarius we're doing right now, so you guys are all about future forward thinking and innovation and technology, and so whatever this is, this invention, this kind of idea, people are the people that do know about it, they will see it as something that is much bigger than just that a kid could make. This is much more advanced. If this is a relationship, people are seeing it as much more serious than, or the other person involved is seeing it much more serious than maybe you are. They're taking it seriously. And that could be what the advice is to maybe be careful with boundaries, because just because you have the power to decimate or level somebody, to break something, doesn't necessarily mean that you should, right? This is also taking your authority back from a toxic situation and showing no mercy to the other person or people involved. This is also defeating a situation that had to do with the mental sphere, a conflict of the mental sphere, some kind of mental health, some kind of struggle mentally. And then instead of giving the sword back to these two guys, it's like he's giving it to the two people that are now constrained by the same devil or demon. So like, you've defeated you've battled your demons, and now you're giving advice, maybe after winning the battle, in terms of how you did it, or there's something there. Or it could be an organ. The devil can represent an organization, so standing your ground with an organization, not willing to back down, playing hardball in terms of your creative idea, what you created with your own hands, pretty much, right? What you're hoping or you're fearing. I'm going to say it's a fear situation. Because we have death here. We have death, we have the Nine of Rods, and we have the Hanged Man. You're afraid maybe that you don't have it in you to sacrifice anything else for the situation, that it would end and you would be too tired to pull yourself out of something and would end up having to start all over again. Or there's the Hanged Man and the Nine of Rods can equivalate to being laid up from some sort of stressful experience or from injury. There's almost this healing. It's like he's taking his time to heal after something that happened in the past. So whatever happened back here that was like decimated you financially, or you didn't get the support that you needed, and or love was unrequited, there is this fearing that coming to the very end of something, you're getting close to finishing up something, and you're really kind of looking over your shoulder like, do I have any more problems coming my way? Am I gonna be able to get out of this? Like, I don't know what else to do next. I don't know if I can keep going. I don't know if I can make it back to town. Death rides on a horse, right? You don't have a horse anymore. Your horse is dead, long gone. It died in battle. So maybe your car broke down. Did your car break down, Aquarius? Did something happen with a vehicle? That's made you feel kind of stagnant or stuck or something? The end to something that leaves you feeling like wounded and needing to... Because typically the Knight of Cups is on a horse. And the Five of Pentacles, they're obviously on foot, right? I do have movement here, though. Yes, so another card of travel and something that you would travel in. The old boat, being sad about the old boat, not knowing what's coming in. There's being some kind of fear or illusion or confusion around some emotional grieving or loss. You don't know what you're going to do about a situation. Then we have pain and grief of that loss because something suddenly happened. But then we have the Ace of Swords down here, see? And then we have the Two of Swords. That's so freaky. Two of Swords and the Queen of Cups. there is something that will, you're afraid something's going to give you a hiccup. This doesn't mean it is going to happen, by the way. Maybe something does happen. The tower here shows me that you're at an impasse because of something that happened externally to you. I'm trying to like pull it out of me. I know there's something I am missing. Influence, willpower, control, obstacles, and it's telekinesis, and it's got the sword as well. This is about an idea. This is about something that, a new beginning. This is also victory over something. This is protecting your success. This is protecting your intellectual property. And then we have this, I'm afraid that something else is going to happen. I'm very tired. I'm worn out. And I feel like I'm afraid of being punished. Like the hangman is about being punished by the universe. It's like, you were bad. You got to sit in timeout for a while. Or you are going to suffer for a little bit in order to, be forced into timeout because you need to get some clarity on something, some enlightenment on something. But here we have the enlightenment here. Okay, so maybe you're afraid that your car is going to break down. I don't know. I'm getting car because I have the Chariot and the last card. And these two are about maybe not being able to move forward with something, being tired, having something have happened, and just being like almost at the end of a cycle and then being stuck, right? Not being able to move anywhere. You're afraid that it's the end of the road for something. Something is over. Something is transmuted or changing. Something is changing down here too. Getting smart with someone in authority, pulling a fast one on somebody in authority, like kind of defeating intellectually somebody who's in charge, that is kind of an adversary. They're showing no mercy to an adversary, an actual intellectual battle, a battle of wills. This is a battle. Your advice is, there's a battle of wills here. Holding out for something. Change. You're getting really tired of waiting and you're hoping for change, I think. Maybe that's what it is. Getting really tired of waiting for a situation to end or to get better or to go in a way that you want it to go, that you're passionate about it going, and then you feel like you're being held up and you're not certain when it will end. Like, if anything will change, when it will end. You're afraid of that happening. But it seems that it's going to end, because most things do, right? So it ends. We'll say hypothetically it ends. And then there is this offering that kind of comes in and kind of shatters everything you knew down to the ground. There's an impasse. You don't know where to go, what to do. For a second, you got to gather your breath, just like you were over here. But this is more of like, you have to use your intuition. He's using his eyes. He's afraid. His eyes are darting around like he's in animal instinct mode. This is not animal instinct mode. This is like, I need to be a spiritual being for a moment. Because I don't have the answers in my physical world, and the physical world can deceive you at times, right? From where you're going. at a spiritual level. Tire gives out. Don't know what's going to happen. Suddenly, you're like, I know I have to get a tire. And I'm unable to decide where this is going to come from or how I'm going to get this thing out to the world without it getting taken from me. There's fear here. There's fear of loss. There's fear of change. But in the end, we have major victory. We have victory here. You know something is going to be a success deep down, okay? We have victory here. We have another victory here. It's one that doesn't feel so good. You know? It's not like the best, when you win and everyone's happy for you. It's when you win and it comes at the cost of other people losing, and sometimes that's a really ugly scene. If you were in some sort of a battle with somebody, it ends. And you end up being victorious because you're able to draw on the darker side of your attributes and balance it out with the lighter aspects of yourself. And what I mean by that is you harness the side of you that is more animalistic, that is less merciful. And I'm not saying go and do harmful things to people. That is not what I'm saying. But in a situation where, like, say in court, for example, not that this is court, I'm not saying that it is, but it's an example. In court, you have to bring your best game, right? Because sometimes other people are trying to win up one on you. And you can't have that, if you want to be a happy and successful person. Like, sometimes we have to take a hit, right? But if you know that you're right about something and someone else is really screwing with you or trying to take your ideas or trying to do something to you, and you have proof that they're doing that, this is saying use your brain to win. And don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. This is also saying use your brain to overcome any bad habits or toxic cycles that you've been in. This could be self-abuse as well. I'm not good enough. I'll never be good enough. The naysayers of the past are in your head, and this is you being told to defeat them in your head. And you do, because you have the card of success and victory. It's a card of Neptune. Cancer as well, actually. Cancer. Oh, 7. The 7, very spiritual card. It's battling our demons and not necessarily kicking them out of the boat, but using them to help fuel the fire of our Merkaba, right? Of our spiritual body to get us to where we need to go, to travel. That's why it represents a vehicle. So you've done your shadow work. I think you're doing your shadow work down here, Aquarius. You're working with the aspects of yourself that are not as pretty as you'd like them to be, or you've hidden them. You found like a buried treasure though during this, because this is a subconscious mind, and this is, if you're doing shadow work over here, this is what this is talking about. And I have the Empress, the Queen of Wands, two, like, these girls like make things happen, and they do it in a fashionable and flaunty kind of way. um and then there's the Ace of Swords, the victory, the new beginning. And then you have recognition, other people seeing you as being successful, of praising you for where you've been and the war that you fought. See, like, you know it's coming. It's like a almost a prophetic thing. The future, you see the future for yourself. Okay, there's this little divine boop in your brain, and then you get this like strike of lightning that comes down, and like, it's as if you don't need to use your eyes, you just know where to go. So, or you will figure it out. Okay, and whatever was in the dark recesses of your mind, of like what you thought wasn't good enough in the past, what's caused you trouble, that's going to be helping you in the future to get you where you need to go. Something about that will help you. It'll be a puzzle piece in the full scope of like, you'll find that part to what you have been building in order to build your rocket ship to get you back into space, Aquarius, because that's where you're from. You're from outer space. This is like the leader of the alien ship over here. We got the Emperor right there. He's like, all right, we're done with this Earth now. On to bigger and better things. This is also you being in control of where you're going in your life. This is having mastery over your domain. So this is ownership. This is leadership. So you lead by example here. You show people the way. You're a trailblazer. And you're walking away from whatever hasn't been working for you in the past. You're leaving the past behind. Where's that eclipse? Where did I just see the eclipse? I know it's in the Eight of Cups, but I'm looking for it in the other cards. Here we go. I have a crescent moon. It's not an eclipse. It's a crescent moon. But it's like a moon cycle because it's facing the other way, right? And then I have the moon. Oh. See how he's right here? And then I have it over here. It's like a cycle has gone by. You take your leave. You take control of your life. You win. The Death card being here is there's a major ending. A transformation of what has been. So this could be also be talking about when we were in the pandemic and having to wait out and deal with a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe you had some kind of relationship loss or job loss or both, all of the latter, and now that's changed you in some sort of way, and you've really been able to confront and face whatever troubles you've been in the past. You've been able to, there's like an alchemical change within you where you're not taking no for an answer as well. You're not going to give up, and you will succeed no matter what. And if succeeding means parting ways with something to find something better, to better your life, you may very well be moving, because I have the Six of Swords here. It's a moving card. I have the Six of Swords again in the second pile over here after the ten of Pentacles, the Tower, Temperance. And so what's always been the status quo tradition is changing. Something external is coming in. And you've been very patient up until this point, and it's required some healing and some sort of patience, okay? And you are now moving forward. And the Four of Pentacles underneath. So I really do think a lot of you will be moving or changing jobs or moving for work, or there's something here about potentiality of moving somewhere. And I do have the Empress and then the Nine of Pentacles. So if you are doing something creative, it's very fulfilling to you. Maybe you're leaving a job that's been humdrum, like physical labor, or just not doing what you really love to do, and you're going for something that's more fulfilling for you, or you're moving closer to family, to, you know, or you're moving closer to your mother, because I do have the Ten of Pentacles here and the Empress card, and then I have subconsciously in your, what you're unaware of is the Mother here. The Mother might give you an idea that leads you to success, or there's some sort of new beginning. The Mother births or creates a new beginning, and the start of other people seeing you happy, successful. There's this kind of homecoming. Okay. So maybe you're moving closer to your mother, or there's some sort of homecoming that's coming in. There might be a trip to go visit your family, Aquarius, that comes in suddenly. It's kind of a shocker, you know? But you go, and you might have not been aware somebody was struggling with something in the past, finances, health-wise, something. And so now you are aware of that. It might be over now, but they might let you know, like, oh yeah, I just got back and my test results are good, but before I was, and so now you're made aware. Maybe they didn't want to burden you with this, and so you might be cutting free of obligations of the way things have always been, your responsibilities and your duties with something, in order to be able to make this happen, to get back to family and to visit them. You're afraid of, or you're hoping for that it's the end of a tough cycle, that you can take a time out, and that things will end in the due time that they need to end, or something will change, you know? Also, if you are changing something about your job, you may very well be put in charge of a position, leaving one position, and getting a promotion. There might be a gift that someone gives you to in order to go somewhere on a trip or something that you didn't know, and you're kind of like at an impasse. You're like, oh, I don't know if I should do this or I shouldn't do this. It's saying that you defeat your dragons, you defeat your obligations, you defeat the, being tied down somewhere, maybe. All right, let's look at one more oracle card. I need an overall card for this reading. Gives Aquarius like a better, clear image. Oh, Lordy have mercy. Okay. I've got belladonna visions and astral travel that popped over. The rest just fell in the flow. I'm going to take both of those. They're very woo-woo cards. Let's see what they have to say. I've got 28 and 10. 28 is belladonna visions. Caution, guidance, clarity, and stand firm. Again, with the standing firm. This is standing firm, defending yourself. This is standing firm. There's clarity coming in about something. Astral travel, another moving card, just a different kind of moving. Possible impossibility. Freedom, traveler, inner dreams. So you're going on a trip, Aquarius. You don't know how it's going to happen. You might have to stand your ground about something to be able to get where you need to go. However that is, to stand your ground with an employer, stand your ground with somebody that you're in a relationship with. But you will be going on a trip. This is also your inner dreams and kind of, if you're not going on a trip, you're bringing that back down. So this is an inner dream here too, your subconscious mind. So whatever you're creating in your subconscious mind, you end up making it a practical. This is also practicality, right? This is material world. So taking what's been conflicting about your mental and bringing it into the practical, making it real, right? And if she brings herself back into her body, she probably got like a whole bunch of really cool inspiration and ideas that are coming to her from her subconscious mind. Her journey. Also, you might get inspired while you're on a trip visiting someone somewhere, which leads you to creating this new idea, this new successful venture. Okay, Aquarius, that's a really cool reading. I'm trying to see if anything else. We know that belladonna is poisonous. It's deadly nightshade, right? Deadly Nightshade. I don't think I've ever seen this card. I think you're the only person that's ever gotten this card since I've gotten this deck. Even when I do cards for myself, I've never gotten this card. There's like, whatever's been really toxic in your life is actually going to be just the medicine you need. Just the fuel in your tank to get you going where you need to go. So you might get in an argument with somebody at work and it's been an ongoing thing and you're just like, you know what? I don't need this crap. I'm taking 2 weeks off. And you might go visit your family or something. Always do smart things that are good for you. Don't take a tarot reading and run with it. That's not how this sort of thing works. This is a possible probability. The most likely avenue of least resistance that things will happen. That doesn't mean you can't change anything. That doesn't mean you can't sit on the couch all day long and not do anything and have everything kind of just fold in on itself or dissipate. You know, you're active participant in your own life, and tarot is a tool that can help you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it will do everything for you or give you all the answers, okay? I'm done preaching now. All right. Have a great March, Aquarius. It seems like you will. It seems like you will go on a journey. I got that song from oh, I mean, it's a super famous song, but I remember it from when I was a kid. The Never Ending Story, is that what it is? But it's like the second or the third. It's the third one, I think. It's like the last one they made, and it's like a true mage's child. You were born to be wild, born to be wild, born to be wild. That song is playing like, and somebody's on a motorcycle, like large and in charge, and I don't know. That comes into play here for some reason. I have no idea. The astral travel card that I just put away also reminds me of a never-ending story. So maybe if you are a writer, because this is the card of the pen, right? This is the pen. This is also putting the pen down on paper. Writer's block as well. This could be just defeating your writer's block. If you are writing anything, it's going to be really successful. It's going to be a really big idea, but protect your creative ideas. Protect them. Maybe someone will come along that will help you, water this idea, be inspiration for this new blossom of a project, this new beginning of a very big legacy. This is going to be a hit. Literally. All right. Have a good one. Bye.